Let's go next to where do we want to go next? Because there's just such a plethora of people wanting to get on. Why don't we go to, let's go to Zaylor from Rhode Island. Zaylor from Rhode Island, you're on the air.
Hello, David. How are you today?
I'm doing well, thank you.
I must say, I love Discord. For some reason, on the phone line, I would you would say something, and I would hear it 10 seconds later. So this is much nicer.
That's beautiful.
All right. So if we win both the Senate seats in Georgia, which I hope we do, with Ossoff and Warnock, rather,
Yes.
how likely is it that there might be a Democrat defector in the Senate that might cause a problem? So I know that, for instance, Joe Manchin, he's still in the Senate in West Virginia, correct?
Hmm.
Likely is it that despite us getting 50 seats, that's going to be an issue for us?
I agree. I mean, listen, it, when you think about something like, the public option that Joe Biden wants, it's not even clear every Democrat supports that. I don't know if Joe Manchin supports that. So the 50-50 with Kamala as the tiebreaker is the starting point, but you are going to potentially have a lot of trouble actually whipping all the votes that you would need to even get to the 50. So I completely agree with you. Now, on the other side of that, there may be some reasonable, slightly marginally more reasonable Republicans that would be willing to come over as well. But I think you're completely right that just getting to 50-50 with Kamala as the theoretical tie-breaking vote, it doesn't really get big legislation done. It's still going to be a big fight.
Yeah, and obviously the moderate Dems are slaves to their districts, whoever elected them. Are there even any Republicans who could be persuaded over for legislation like that could defect from their side?
It depends on the issue completely. You're not going to get Susan Collins to come over and say Medicare for all, right? But there are certainly ways in which, there are probably funding related things or priorities or whatever, where Joe Manchin, because of his West Virginia electorate, might not be with the Democrats, but Susan Collins, because of the Maine electorate, might be with the Democrats. So there are definitely examples, but you're not going to pass like tax reform, Biden's tax reform proposal. You're not going to get that because of Republicans with Joe Manchin not participating. That's not going to happen. You're going to need every Democrat for that.
And how much of a problem of a thorn in the side do you think the filibuster might be if we do get very close margins on legislation
I think it
for
will be a problem. I think that if Democrats do get 50-50 and Biden is in a position to pass some major legislation, I do think the issue of the filibuster will come up. But on what issue, I don't yet know.
And what do you think so far with the Supreme Court that we have now,
Yeah.
and even previous to the death of RGB or RBG rather,
Hmm.
RBG, right? The legislation, I mean, the cases rather that passed through the Supreme Court. I remember that there was the victory with the anti-discrimination for trans people, if I remember correctly. That happened not too long ago. Do you see any cases or any important decisions being made by the Supreme Court that could be negative given the now very cemented conservative majority on the court?
Absolutely. I wouldn't be able to say what. We first have to see what comes before the court. But I'm very worried about the Supreme Court for sure. Listen, I've got to run, Zaylor, but I appreciate the call. I love that so many people called in. I'm not able to take more calls today, but we will take more calls soon, and we will take a quick break and be back with much more.